Hello everyone. Today we're going to create this beautiful e-commerce website from this scratch using Next.js, Sanity CMS, Next-auth authentication and so many more other features. Now what actually you're gonna have, this will be our entire home page, and in the home page, as you see in the top layer, we have one header where we have our logo, then the search bar, then the other navbar buttons, and in the search bar I can search through the products with the title, and if I click any of the products it will take to the single product details with that particular flag, and here I'm gonna have that products on sale pages and also the product details available. Also I can make it add to cart from here. Now all of these things is coming up from that Sanity CMS. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna open, as you see there is a studio button here, I'm gonna open that studio in another tab so that I can show you what actually is happening. Now as you see, it's actually in the /studio, so it's in a same website. I just embedded two projects in a single project. So now you can see that banner data I'm uploading from here, and that's what actually appearing in my website, and also the product data is also getting from there. So we're gonna create a product and I'm gonna show you, but before let's explore a bit in the website here. Now I have some product here, and you see there is a carousel going on. I can just see the products in a particular level, and also I have two buttons, which is for the profile, another for the cart. And then I have the body banner where I can see, like, I can showcase my banner or any other things. Then I have the bestseller sections. All the bestseller products it's gonna appear here. Then I have the product of the year. If I click here, it will take me back to the single pages here where I am showcasing all the available products. Now in that feature I have two buttons. One is for the list view, one is the grid view. Right now is the grid view, so if I click on the list view I can see the product as in the list item, and also I can add product from here. And if I click in the quick view, it will do the same things. It will just use that flag and generate the single product page. And now then I have just a small footer and other special offer items. So now let's just try to create a checkout to see if everything is working or not. So let's go back to the cart. If I click on the cart, right now I will not be able to go to the cart because it's there is a middleware setting in the behind, so I need to log in before accessing the cart. And whenever I am accessing my user authentication, it will just give me my card. So it's actually getting the authentication of the each user. So different user, they will get their own card. Now in the card, what I can do, I can add more products, and I cannot delete more products, like I cannot decrease more products less than one, but I can also delete the products from here. And if I want, I can also reset the cart. As you see, there is a pop-up. If I click, let's resetted the cart, and as you see, it's coming up with a good message. So let's continue to shopping because we need to create a checkout. I will just add some more products here. I think that's enough. Let's go to the cart again. Now from here, there is a 4 section. One is the product, there is a price, quantity and subtotal. If I increase the quantity, as you see, my cart product price, the subtotal price is getting increased also. And the similar effect will happen once I decrease the product. So now let's add some more items, and now below that I have a button here where I can apply the coupon if you having an authentication to create the coupon. Then also, as you see, after implementing the coupon value, you need to update the cart. Then I have the subtotal value, shipping charge and total. So this all the value is coming together. So now what I'm gonna do, I can actually go and make that proceed to checkout. So I have 1015. Don't worry about the shipping charge because I didn't actually make it happen to calculate together. So this value gonna be pay. So let's proceed to checkout, and while I click on the proceed to checkout, it will take me to that Stripe checkout pages. As you see, 1015 is available here. I can view all the cart details and I can see all available portion. But before going to create the checkout, I want to show you another tricky things, which is to make that, because whenever I'm just going to set a webhooks to use like a watcher. So whenever, because after that payment I need to send back that order details here. in my backend database like the Sanity. So in that way I can showcase the order to the customer, right? So that's what I'm gonna do. So to just see if it's working or not, I'm gonna run my listener here, and I need to put that like is try, and that will be listen. And after that I need to make that a forward to, and what is I'm running on my local host 3000, and then / API. I use that as webhooks, and then the checkout. So now it will work like a middleware. Okay, I think I maybe missed something. Maybe forward the, okay, that's a misspell. It will be RD forward. Okay, it will just sitting there as a watcher, so it will look forward all the payment authentication and all the details, and then it gonna just ping me whatever thing is happening in the behind. So I will keep my email here, then the default card value for this type is 4242, and then keep a valid month and year, CVC 123. I'll just put my name. And before making that 1015, just remember my previous, I will just hit a refresh, my previous balance, which is 280. So the last payment was 280. So let's create another new payment, which gonna be 1015. So I will just click on pay. As you see, once I click on pay, there will be several actions triggering. As you see, the charge succeeded, payment intent succeeded, payment intent created, checkout session completed, and all the post request is already completed. I get 200 means it succeed. So as you see, my card is empty. Now I can view orders, or I can just go back, continue shopping as usual, and let's go back to here. And you see in the order tab, I'm gonna have all the details: order coming from the test, payment done, status is success, and confirmation method automatic, and amount is 1015. So I'm gonna show you everything, how actually you can create those things. There's some mass things around, so we can go some deep down, or we can go some slow. So I'm gonna show you, don't worry about it. And if you're a beginner, whatever the tech I'm gonna using here, don't forget to go to their documentation and read everything about it. That's how you can learn more and more. But if you're following me to have this website in your portfolio, just stick with me and don't worry about the code. To make you understand and make you feel better, at the end of the video, I'm going to show you the link in the description, and I'm going to show you how you can do that, because I'm going to push everything in the GitHub, all the code, so you can have the code for free and then use it in your portfolio. Just try to learn it more and more. Okay, it will help you to get a better job, or help you to learn more coding in your own way. So now that's what actually we're going to create. So let's start. And to create a fresh project, I already just taken one empty folder. Now here what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna open my terminal. Now to clean up or create a Next.js application, how you can create, what's the best practice is just go to the nextjs.org and then start from here. You're gonna have all the details. Again, I'm telling you, whatever the tech I'm using in this video, please go to the documentation and learn more about it. But if you are following me to complete this website, just feel free to follow me and it will be all right for you. So now I need to run one command, and today I'm going to use the yarn. So the command, it will be yarn and the create next app, and the name it will be YouTube. So hit the enter. Now once you hit enter, it's gonna starting to create the app, but before creating, it's gonna ask a lot of question about it. And as it's an e-commerce website, I would love to use the TypeScript. If it's a small project or the normal project, no matter to use a normal JSX or any other, even you can use the JS here, don't worry about it. But I love to use the TypeScript for the e-commerce website. I will use that ESLint, and we're gonna use that Tailwind CSS to create this beautiful design. And by the way, it's fully responsive. As you see, it's also good for the smaller skin, and it will just feel free to be invited. Okay, and then of course Tailwind, yes, and I'm gonna use the source directory to keep everything neat and clean. And app router, yes, we are not going to use the page router, because right now the updated one is the app router, and it's very good to use and easy to use actually. Then the customize aliases, it will be the no. And now just give it a little bit of time to install all the dependencies in your pages. Then we're gonna start. So all the things installed. Now if you're not using the year, just write that npx create next app latest, and also if you're using the pnpm, you just go with the same command of the npm, just the year, just replace the year with pnpm. So now what I'm gonna do, put an ls to see. As you see, the orib youtube is already created. Now if I go back to my folder, okay, I'll just get a refresh. As you see, now you can go inside and open it directly from your command line to that open with code. But as I'm a coder, I love to use my terminal. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna open it from here using that code dot. So my project is open already. And there is a silly mistake we are doing. As you see, is already open in the orib youtube. We are not inside our application yet. And to go inside that application from the command line, if you're using the Windows or the Git bash, you need to just put that cd and then put that directory name, which is the orib youtube. Then we're gonna hit that code dot, and now it's gonna open in that VS Code. So right now we are in the good place and everything is working just fine. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just open my terminal here. As you see, in that tab we're gonna have our that terminal, and from the terminal there is a lot of varieties. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take my git bash from here and I will close the other one. And before we're going to explore a bit with the application, whatever we are getting by default, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna run that yarn dep to spin our application in localhost 3000. And also what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna run that localhost 3000 here locally, and while it's spinning, because at the beginning it maybe take a little bit of time. So in the file over here we have .next folder, which actually compose everything and putting all the caching, server side, static types, everything is gonna handle from here. So it's the Next.js thing, we're gonna keep it as it is. Then we have our node modules folder. There all the packages we're going to install, it's your underline, and also we have the public folder. You can use that images, all the images to keep it here. But for this project we are going to use a very minimal local images, so we're gonna keep whatever we have in the source folder. Then we have our source folder here. In the source we have that app folder. So now whatever you're gonna see in the browser right now, everything going to be rendered from the app. So this is our start folder, that's the main page. Now as you see, this everything is rendering from here. So if you want to clean your projects from the beginning, what actually I love most, I will just clean that main and then put a p tag, and this is our new project. Hit the save, and when you hit the save, as you see, this is our new project is available. There is still a little bit of cleanup things, and because Tailwind CSS is already configured, so we can actually go with that global.css, and we just need to keep that 3 files, which is actually based on Tailwind CSS for Tailwind based components and utilities. Except these 3, if we clear others, then we're gonna have a clean project. As you see, now this is actually the clean project, and we have our layout.tsx, which actually is responsible to get all the layout effects. Because see, all the pages we're just making here in the children. So now header, footer, because we want to keep all the pages to be invisible, so we're gonna manipulate it later on. I'm just not going to explain right now. Then we have how our slength, git ignore, and the next.env.d.ts, and then other files is available. So this is the pretty much structure here. So what I'm gonna do, first thing first, in the source folder I'm gonna take a new folder, and that folder name, it will be components, which actually going to be our components folder. And we're gonna have one more folder, actually not one more, so there will be a multiple folder here. So let's create those folders, or I'm gonna create once actually we are going to need those folders, not right now. And before going to start further, also we need one more folder, which going to be our assets, because in the assets we are going to keep all the images. And in the assets, I just took 3 images from my previous project. One will be the empty card, one the logo black, another is logo white. I'll just minimize a little bit so we can see the project stereo and also our code. So that's the three things we are taking in that assets. So now first thing first, in that our components, I'm gonna create another file, which first file it's gonna be our neighbor. Okay, so neighbor.tsx, and I'm gonna put that rafce to create that snippet. Now this neighbor, I want my neighbor and footer. As you see, that neighbor and the footer is actually available in all the pages, in the shop pages, in the home pages, in all the pages. These both are going to be available. So to make it right, to keep it in that fashion, I need to keep that one inside the layout. But before taking that layout any more further, I want to clean up our app, because remember, we're gonna have two projects embedded in one. So one part it will be the user, and another part it will be for the admin. So we need to create actually two different portions for it. So inside the app, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create another folder, and in that folder, first one I'm gonna name as user. So the user things it gonna be happening there, and inside the user I'm gonna take a file name is page.tsx and rafce. So this will be our home page. So the home page is gonna be, and what I'm gonna do, instead of taking all other portion here, remember we have one layout file, I'm gonna drag that layout file here inside that folder. So now we're going to have that layout here. So this layout is going to be okay. Now as you see, we have broken things because the root layout and the other things is not going to be happen, because there will be a mismatching with that. So we are going to fix it. But before that, what I'm gonna do, in the source folder, I'm gonna take another folder, and that folder it's gonna be named as styles. So in the styles file, so all the style things we're gonna keep it inside that folder. So let's move it here. And now in this small project, I have a two page.tsx. So I'm gonna delete this one first, and also I'm gonna take back that favy icon inside that one here. So now as you see, once I did that one, so just save this file here to get that everything in good fashion. And also I have that page here, and I have that neighbor here. So okay, so now let's see what's happening. Now everything is actually right, but that globals.css is whatever we have here because we changed the directory, right? So let's go in the page.tsx. Now not the page.tsx, in the layout.tsx. So now this import we need to just change. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna cut that, and then I'm gonna find my I need to go to auth of that users, then I will go inside the styles, and then I'm gonna find that globals.css. So now that file is available here, and once I did that, as you see, our home page is available. You see, now we got our projects perfectly. So now what actually we can implement here in the children, because for the user I want all the things available, right? So I'm gonna put that never, so it's gonna just available on that user. So whenever we are developing the like the admin portion, it will not be available there. So first I will just create a little bit of visualization with the never, then we're gonna setting up our like the Sanity CMS to go with that to create the backend structure, which actually more important and the most important things in any of the e-commerce website. And for the never, we're gonna just go through with a different setup, because you see in our previous in our actually the existing projects, as you see, it's actually responsive, fully responsive. So we need to create that responsiveness. We're gonna do it. So first thing first, let's work a bit with the never, and then what's actually going to happen. So in here, I'm gonna take a tab called nav, and inside that nav we're gonna have three portions. One it's gonna be with the logo, and another it's gonna be our search bar, and the right side it's gonna be all the tabs. So first let's implement that logo. And for the logo, because it will be in the home logo, whenever we click there it will be redirect us to the home. So I will just keep it inside link, and then I'm gonna call that image from the next image, and I need to get my logo. So it's gonna be import logo from and that's we're gonna get it from at. It's gonna be from the assets, and because it's the white background, so I will get the logo black. And for the source, I will put that as logo. Oops, not the log, it will be the logo. And for the alt tag, I will just put that logo. And for the class name, I will give that width of 20. And also, and don't worry about that Tailwind CSS class names, because in my channels there are a lot of video to covering up with the Tailwind CSS. Feel free to watch and visit my channel. And for the Tailwind, don't forget to go with the tailwindcss.com website. Okay, and the href, it's gonna be home, always taking back to the home from wherever we start. So let's go here. As you see, we have that already, so the home page is running. To make it look a little bit better, so what I'm gonna do, let's go in the top label, give a width of full, and height, I love to give it in a 20. Background, I'm gonna keep it as white, and I'm gonna give a border, and this border bottom, which gonna be 1 pixel, and border bottom gonna be gray of 400, just to see show you that actually that border exists. So maybe it's gonna be a little bit light, but here you can see the dark. You can keep light if you want. So in the navbar, put a class name, and the height, we're gonna give the parent full height, which going to be 20, and then I'm gonna give a max width, max, just give me a second, it will be max width screen axle, and then MX auto to it will be MX auto to keep everything in the center, and the padding in x-axis going to be 4, but whenever it will hit in the axle, small extra large devices, padding x going to be just keep it as 0. Yeah, 0, no padding required. So as you see, that looks good, but it's not looks good the way, so I'm gonna make a flex item center and justify between to push everything in the lower side. As you see, we have a very good already we are having our icon, and after having the icon, we need the another things. And also what I'm gonna do to keep all the things neat, bit and clean, I'm gonna just put a gap on that, so the gap gonna be just a little bit gap of 2. So now I need to keep our input area, so this will be the place where I'm gonna keep that input area. So there I'm gonna keep the input, and after here another div, I'm gonna put like all the nav links. So now as you see, that input going to be here, nav links going to be here. So in the input, so on the div, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just put an input field, and that input field is gonna be the search your products here. Okay, let's see. Okay, it's available somewhere, but we can't see actually, so let's make some work on it. And in the top label, I will make it as relative, and width going to give a full, and by default it's going to be hidden, and only in the LG devices I'm gonna put it inline flex. You can make all the things change as the way you like, so I'll just keep in the way it feels preferable for me. So LG, the width going to be 600 pixel, only the large devices, and height going to be 10, and the text going to be the base text, and the text, and for that text color combination and other things, I will just go with that tailwind config.ts file, because here I'm gonna make some changes to just declare my color combination and other things. And to go with that, here you see there is a background color and everything, so actually I'm not gonna use that. But what actually I'm gonna use 2 things right now. One is for the color, and there is another for the box text shadow, and another things I'm gonna use later on, which going to be the font family. I'm gonna show you later. So right now I need that prime color and the light text. Okay, so now I am having that prime color, so the text going to be base and text going to be prime color, so which are gonna be a little bit darker. And let's hit the save and see if we can see anything. Okay, yeah, that's available, you see. So now we need to make a little bit more beautiful on that. And to implement that one, let's make that border of 1 pixel and border block. Okay, not the border, it will be border border. And after that, once we make the border, and also because we need to keep some icon here, remember. Okay, first we're gonna just make something on that input field, so put some class name on that. I'm gonna make it a flex one to take all the available spaces, whatever is available there. By default it's gonna get the 600 pixel, but even though I'll make it flex to make it a little bit better. So height gonna be a full, makes it 10 pixel, and the outline gonna be none. Okay, outline none. And then background color, it gonna be a transparent, and the placeholder text going to be gray of 600. Yeah, gray of 600. So now it's something going to be visible. Okay, let's see. Okay, so but we cannot see any of the placeholder text. And what's actually happening here, placeholder text, because we keep the type here as the text, so that's my bad. So I will just cut it. Type gonna be text and it gonna be the placeholder text. It's a simple mistake, the silly mistake here. So now as you see, that's available right now. So now what actually we need to do, I'm gonna make some more designing pattern here. Border the block and item center, and the gap going to be 2, justify between, and px, the x-axis is gonna be 6, and rounded empty. Okay, that looks fine. So now we need to have an icon, and for the icon I'm gonna use another package which is going to be the React icons. Don't forget to visit that React icons website to have a better understanding of how that thing's going to be open. For right now I'm going to just make that yarn at React icons to install the React icons dependencies. And from the icons I need actually one of the icons, which is not one, actually 2 icons, one for the search icon and another for the yellow closer outline icon for the closing button. As you see, both are working just fine. So now what I'm gonna do, I need to implement that 2 things here. So to implement that one, I need to create something more specific. I need to create 2 state actually. So make that const, and that state, it's gonna be that state of that for whatever, whenever I'm typing something in there, I need to get that. So it will be search query and set the query use state. First I'm gonna keep it empty. As soon as I hit the save, as you see, I'm gonna get a very nice little error, because we cannot use that hooks in that any of the, because by default Next.js all the components and pages is all in just getting as a server component. So whenever we're going to use that client-side projects, client-side things like uses like the hooks and other client-side dependencies or libraries, we need to make that components as the use client. And don't worry, because I'm keeping that never as use client overall, the never, because it's for the clients, so don't worry about it. You can be more specific, you can take that like the image outside of that client, and you can get that other things out of the client here. It depends on you. Okay, for me it's a small project, so I'm not going to worry about a lot of on the things. And so now what I'm gonna do in here, I'm gonna type something which gonna be on change function. And what actually going to happen, whenever it's gonna be on change, we're gonna get a value, or I'm gonna just with that set search query, and I'm gonna take that as an event, which going to be e.target.value. It will not be like that way, but for right now I'm gonna keep it as simple as possible. Okay, because later on we're gonna bring all the other functionality here. So right now I'm just gonna make it as simple. Okay, so now we are having that value. So now we can also write the other condition. So whenever we are writing something, whenever we are writing, we're gonna have the search query, right? So whenever we have the search query, we're gonna have an icon, and that icon is gonna be closing outline. And whenever we don't have any of the search query, we're gonna have that search icon. Let's save it. And right now, maybe you cannot see there is an icon available. If I remove all of this, you see the icon is changed. So to implement the good way on that, I'm gonna just put some class name on it to make it looks better. So it will be the class name, and that one it's gonna be width of 5 and height of 5, and hover, cursor, pointer. Okay. And now also whenever we are creating like clicking on that outline, we need to fire on one of the on click events. So it's gonna be on click, and that on click event it's gonna be like set search query. We're gonna just make it empty. That's it. So now if I type something, you see you get that button. If I click, boom, it just go out. And also what I'm gonna do for right now, there is no other classification here. So whenever we hover, text gonna be rate of 500, and the duration I'm gonna put just 200. So now if I type something, boom, type something, boom. Later on, we're gonna create the functionality to give it a very good effect. So you see, the gap is not actually getting the proper way. So what I'm gonna do, as you see, LG, I'm gonna just put that width, it's gonna be minimum width of 600 at least. As you see now, actually is taking full flex compatibility, right? So now this two part is done. Now we need to have that nav links, and to have that nav links, let's go and create that. And we are going to keep that here. So first, in the top layer, we're gonna create a never list. So it's gonna be const and that never list. And inside that, we're gonna make an array on that. So inside that array, we're gonna have a 5 item. Okay, so it just array an array of object. Inside that 5 items, I'm gonna giving just one ID. You can remove the ID actually without ID also, because we have the separate title. So ID is not mandatory. So now as you see what we have our title and the link. So if we click on the home, it will take us to the home, shop, card, profile, and studio. It's going to take back to the studio. So let's define that one, how actually going to happen. So this is our never list, and remember it's an array of object, right? So now we can actually map through it. So here on that portion, we're gonna make that never list dot map, and now we're gonna give an item, and that item we're gonna return, and inside here we're gonna return a link, and inside that link we're gonna put that href, and that href going to be item dot link. And also don't forget to give the key, which gonna be item dot link. And now inside here I will define the text, which gonna be item dot title. Okay, as you see, we're having our title, everything is available. So in the top layer, I'm gonna give some styling to make it looks better. So by default, it's gonna be hidden. So whenever we are hitting in the empty screen, it's gonna be inline flex, and item center gap going to be 2. Okay, looks good. So now as we have the link, we can actually go and make some more design pattern. Okay, so now we will create a lot of things with this style. So now that all these styles going to be here, I'm gonna make a little bit bigger. Okay, now the style thing is put some class name, and that class name actually those class names, remember, whenever we are having any of the pages, it's going to be like, and because those things is not looks right, because it's scratching my logo. So also I'm gonna give it a flex 1, so logo will take the spaces, or I think it's not going to be happen. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna keep it in a width of simple. because it will capture on that way. Okay. Okay, I think it's gonna be cool. Yeah, don't worry about it, just fix it in a way you like, but for me it will just serve the purpose. Later on we can fix that. So now I'm gonna put some class name on it, and this class name actually I'm gonna not keep in that way. So I'm gonna put with the backtick because we're gonna stabilize this class name later on. So I'm gonna make it a flex, and whenever we hover, the font is gonna be medium font, and the width gonna be 20, height going to be 6 because we're gonna give a border color, and justify center and item center, and padding in x-axis going to be 12. Don't worry, those all things going to make sense, and the text going to be gray of 600 for right now, the initial text, and whenever we hover it gonna be underline, and the underline offset going to be 4, and then the decoration going to be 1 pixel. Okay, let's see what's happening actually. You see, that looks good, and it's the similar pattern we are having here. As you see, that looks good. So now we can actually stabilize more things here. So let's pour some more things, and whenever we hover, the text is gonna be gray of 950, total dark, and MD it's gonna be the border of border R, which going to be 2 pixel, and border R going to be gray of 600, and the duration going to be 200. So as you see, we are having one border here, so looks cool, and I think let's give it a 500. Okay, the effect, yeah, that looks good. Okay, that's perfect. Or we can you can make it less, the way you preferable, so the way you prefer. And now as you see, the last one, I don't want to have that border, right? I want it to be simple, and to create that effect here, what I'm gonna do, the last one, border are going to be 0, so no border. Okay, that's cool. Now we are here in the /300. So now if I click on the card, it will take back to the, it will give us a 404, but it will take us to the shop because we don't have that shop page actually. So now the link is actually working perfectly. So right now there is another things on my home is active. I'm getting some good design to see that yes, the home is active, and that one we can implement here to get the path name. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get the path name here, and that's going to be, so here const path name, and it will use the use path name from the next navigation. And I'm just going to show you one of the very simplest things here. So if we just make that inspector, and inspect, it's gonna open in the client side, because remember we made it a client side application component. If it's the server side, it will be open over here in the server. So let's put the log, and I'm just log the path name, and here as you see, we are here in a / in the home page. So if we, okay, I will just create one page here to show you the effect. So in the user, I will take one more folder, and here I'm gonna make that as it gonna be shop, and inside the shop I will take one more file, page.tsx rfce, which actually shop page. So right now, if as you see, now I am here in the /home. If I click on the shop, as you see, we are in the shop right now, as the shop is available. So let's go back to the home. Now I'm gonna make some of the design here according to that criteria. And so first thing first, I'm gonna just remove that, and now let's go back here, and I'm gonna put a $sign and then the curly braces to implementing that. So what I'm gonna say, if the path name equal to item.link and so only then it gonna be effective. The text going to be a gray of 950, means the dark text, and the underline need to be implemented there. So as you see, my home is active. If you go to the shop, and you see my shop is active. So in that way you can decipher which one you want to be make it active or not. So now if I go in the dark, like the smaller skin, you see it's responsive, but there is one more things to be implemented here, which going to be one icon. So let's go here. So now on that particular tab, or I can actually go out of that. I can come here. Now here I'm gonna make that I think I need to import that one. Did I import that HI menu icon? Okay, just let me import that one first. Okay, so that's the icon I need. Okay, this is the icon I require once I am in my normal screen. So now put that it will be class name, and by default it will be inline. It will be inline flex, and MD it going to be hidden, and the cursor, I think why I'm not getting a suggestion, because my class name is have a misspelling. So it going to be cursor pointer, and width of 8, height of 6, and make it in absolute, top 6, or actually no, because that's perfect. No need to put in an absolute way, as you see. Okay, so now if I just hit back to the smaller skin, as you see, that looks good. So once we click, we're gonna toggle through all the menu bar and others. So we're gonna come up with those things, because now we need to fix so many other things, because we need to pull the data from the Sanity. So we need to like entirely creating our things. But before going there, I'm gonna show you one small trick to go with that optimizing the font. So I will close all the things here, close all, and then in here on the components, I'm gonna create one file called that banner.tsx and rfce, which going to be my banner. And inside that banner, I'm gonna take a p tag, and I'm gonna write that, it will be lorem text. What I'm doing, lorem 100. Okay, so now right now these fonts, which actually okay, I need to I need to import that one in my page, otherwise I'm not gonna get that. Okay, so the banner, so I will see all the lorem text available here. And if I check the font details right now, as you see, I have the font here, which is the inter font, and that inter font is coming from my layout from the Google Fonts. Now that's actually good. It's a Next.js caching thing is happening, and it's a very fast, robust. But what I want my font to embed it here in my project. Okay, I don't want that fonts to be fetched from any other particular things. I want it to be prefetching a very good way. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna open a source folder, which the name it will be the fonts. So, and inside that fonts, I'm gonna get my fonts details. So that fonts it will be available here, which called this poppins or poppins.wff2. Then how you can get that file? Okay, so to get that, you can go to the not the google.com, it's gonna be Google Fonts. Now from here you can choose any of the fonts you want. Now the variable fonts, the poppins is not available. So now in the fonts, okay, let's just search for the poppins. Okay, poppins. So this is the poppin fonts. Now here, while I'm having that poppins, okay, let's see, that's the popping font. So in here, as you see that link href, they are giving a href direction here. So you need to just copy that and then open it in any of the browser. Okay, so now here you're gonna have that list actually. So now remember, it's better to go with the 200 font weight. So you need to just get that https, that link, that one, the .wff2. So if you just insert any of the tab here, it's gonna download automatically, and from there you can rename it from your download folder, and then you can get that file here, actually the way I have here in that folder. Okay, so now we need to inject that one with the Tailwind CSS. Okay, and to implement that one, remember in the Tailwind CSS, on the style in the globals, we have that tailwind base. So instead of using that one, I will open one more file and give you a name of that base.css. Now here I'm gonna get that a tailwind and I'm gonna get that base. And also I'm gonna declare one more thing, which gonna be at font face. Oops, it will be font face. Now here, okay, I need to put that clone. Okay, now inside that font face, I'm gonna just inject all of these things, which is the font family. I'm giving a name of Poppins, and the font's URL, which actually interjecting. Now actually you can show it here, like from where I got that font's details, right? So now for the URL, you can just go with that. Remember, that's the fonts folder, and then the things, bam, is right. So now in the global CSS, instead of having that actual utilities file, instead of that, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make that at import, and it gonna be base.css. That's it. So now my base font is gonna be work. So now also there is one more thing is pending. I need to interlink with the tailwind config.ts. So now here on that config, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna declare with that font family, and inside that font family I'm gonna inject it here. Now first thing first, there will be two type of fonts. One is gonna be default fonts for the sans, and remember here it's better to give the names, actual names, which is here in the Google. So its actual name is the Poppins, so I keep the name as Poppins. And then I also need to get that, oops, it will be default, I believe it's the default theme, maybe default theme. Okay, let's import that one here. So I'm gonna import default theme, and that gonna be from that tailwind CSS, and then it will be the default theme. So now we're gonna have that default theme dot font family dot sans. Okay, so what's actually wrong is happening. Let's see. Okay, extend partial. Okay, that's okay. And after that, we're gonna have also one the display name. You can put any of the name you want. So the similar pattern, I'm gonna pass that as a display fonts. Okay, so now my fonts is ready to use. If I click here, still my inter font is working, right? So now let's go back to the page, and not actually in the page, I will go back to my layout. Okay, so let's go back to the layout, and in the layout I will remove that inter font. Okay, I'm not gonna use that one anymore. Okay, remove that, and also removing that. Bam. So now if I check the font, you see it's by default is taking the Poppins font right now. So it's as simple as possible as it is. So also you can, if you have any doubt, maybe the inter font is not working, so you just make that as font display. That's it, it's working, it's actually in the Poppins. So just to make the double sure, you can keep it in that way. Also if you just inspect from here, you're gonna find somewhere this written is an inter font. As you see, the font family is inter. So our font is working perfectly. So right now I'm gonna close up all other things, like everything. Now we're gonna create another file, not the file, another project, which actually going to be our Sanity project. And to implement that one, first thing first, you need to create a Sanity account, and then you need to have your own dashboard. You see, I already created my account. If you visit my manage projects, you're gonna see that's my dashboard. If you have just a basic email, you can open with that email. That's simple. So now also okay, let's go there, and I will just do one small thing, which actually I think I need to do it. Layout. Okay, so I'm gonna just change these two texts from here, so my title, it gonna looks better. So now what I need to do it, and to implement the Sanity Studio in your project, you just need to put that Sanity in it. That's it. So now what it's gonna do, it's gonna take everything. You see the continue creating a Sanity Studio V3 project, or I'm not gonna open it from here, because if I go inside from here, you're gonna see it properly, all the words and everything. So now, as you see, if I put ls, you see I'm inside my project, which is that Sanity Waribi YouTube. So now I'm gonna make that Sanity init. Okay, so now here you see the welcome to Sanity. So now we are in the Sanity ground. It's a continue creating a Sanity Studio v3 project, which is the updated one. Put yes, and now it's actually asking if I can go with any of my existing project. No, I want to create a new project because I want to show you from the beginning. So it will create a new project, and the project name I will keep that Sanity YT. Okay, and what else? So let's see, the next pop-up gonna come. You continue, okay, and use the default dataset configuration. Yes, the default one, good. So now it's gonna create all the datasets. Now the project path, I would love to go with the default. Now there is a different already there's some of the projects available, sample projects for the Mobi project, e-commerce. You can go with the Shopify, or you can go, if you have the blog, you can go with the blog schema. But for me, I love to go with the clean project with no predefined schema. So it's a simple project we can use. And of course, we're gonna love to use the TypeScript because our project also written in TypeScript. Now it's gonna do everything. Before, one more thing, it's gonna ask which package manager I'm gonna use. So for this project, as you remember, I'm using the Yarn. So let's go with the Yarn. Now it's gonna install all the dependencies to predefine that Sanity Studio in our project. Okay, everything just installed perfectly. I'm gonna close that tab. So now if I just reduce a bit, shrink a bit down here, I'm gonna just clean my everything. Now if I open here, as you see, we have one tab which is Sanity YT. So let's go to another tab, and here I'm gonna put that CD Sanity YT, and now I'm gonna make that Sanity, or not the Sanity, I can just put that yarn dev, and now it's gonna open my Sanity project. It's a separate project within my project, and it's gonna open up, I believe, just give it seconds. Okay, it's opening in localhost 3333. So here it's gonna open my Sanity project. Okay, but now remember, this actually within my project, another project, and it's very heavy, right? But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna merge that project within my project to keep it a single project. In that way it's gonna be more faster. And remember how actually we do it. If we click, it's getting that /studio, which is that our studio, right? So we're gonna keep it in that way. So now in the Sanity, it will ask for the login. I'm gonna use my Google account, so I'm gonna log in with that. Okay, login successful. Now we can see our Sanity structure. Now right now we don't have anything, so we will not see any documents here. And for right now, we actually no longer to run that one. And I'm gonna just go back here because I'm gonna delete everything from here. So now what I want you to do to implement that one perfectly, I'm gonna open my project package.json here, which is actually Sanity package.json. Not the Sanity, is my our main projects. And also I'm gonna open that okay, Sanity YT project, because we're gonna take something from there, then I'm gonna remove it. So what actually we need to get from here, as you see, in our dependencies, we need to get that, I think that 3 things we need. One is the Sanity visions, and Sanity, and that is style components. So I'm gonna copy that, then I'm gonna paste it here. The Sanity, I think this these 3 things is enough. And after that, in the dev dependencies, I will use that Sanity ESLint for that purposes. Okay, so I have that 3 things which I take from there, and pretty much all those packages from here, no more. So now I'm gonna close that, And then I need a few more things. That one is the Sanity CLI and another is the Sanity config.ts. I'm gonna grab that and I will keep that in my root here. So wherever is trying that tailwind config.ts and other main file, I'm gonna keep that two file there also. And one more things I may require is that one is that in that schema, that's the schema project I require also. So in my source folder here, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna drag that schema and I'm gonna keep it in the source folder. So right now, okay, schema is already available. So right now, those are all from that Sanity YT. So I'm gonna delete that folder. So everything is looking a bit of clean, but you see Sanity CLI and other things not actually working. Remember, I took that packages, but I didn't install. So what I need to do, I need to run that only yarn, and then it gonna add all the dependencies, which actually I just copied from that Sanity and I deleted that project. So I need to install that one. Okay, everything is installed and right now you see no error is happening, so we are good to go. Okay, so now we are in the single project. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna close my terminal because remember we are having two separate projects embedded in one, and then I'm gonna put that yarn deb, and don't worry, still now we're gonna have that project embedded yet because we need to make so many other parameters to work together. So right now, as you see, I need to get one more file, which going to be .env. Now here in that env file, I need to keep all the other parameter, like all the keys and everything. And what all the things we need actually is the Sanity public project ID, Sanity dataset API, Sanity API token, node env, and then the Next-auth URLs and the Next-auth secret for the other things. For right now, we're gonna focus that three things. And from where actually you're gonna get that things? As you see, we have that Sanity, our project ID available here. So let's go back to here, and that gonna be Sanity project ID. And also we're gonna have the dataset here, which is going to be that production dataset. And then for that date label, I'm gonna put that 2023 and then 0503 from the main, the latest one. Let's hit the save. So now instead of keeping those two values, remember the project ID and the dataset, I can now use that actually the particular value on it. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get two variables for it there, which is going to be my project ID and also going to be my dataset, which I'm gonna getting from that process.env, and that env file I'm accessing, and that next public Sanity project ID and next public Sanity dataset. There's two variables I am just going to get from there. So instead of getting that one manually here directly, I'm just keeping that in my .env file. Okay, that's cool. Also these two things I'm gonna use that here also for my Sanity CLI, and also in the top layer I'm gonna just paste it, and then I'm gonna keep it like that. Okay, so now in that sanity config.ts, I need to make a little bit of work. I need to declare here one of the base path, in which path I'm gonna go and see my studio. So it's gonna be studio/studio. You can keep as admin or anything, any name it will work. As is a Sanity Studio, I'm just going to keep that simple name. Okay, we are having one error, and what's the error is there? Okay, it's failed to loading the chunk. Just hit a refresh. Let's see, maybe some caching is happening. Okay, it's gone. Okay, we're good to go. So now for the name and title, I'm gonna use my name and my title, which is going to be RAB online shopping. Okay, and the project ID, dataset, everything looks so cool. So now what I'm gonna do here, let's type that /studio. If everything is good to go, we're gonna see, okay, we still cannot see our studio, means it's still not configured yet. Okay, what's the things we did wrong? API is working fine, sanity config is working. Okay, we have the vision tool. Okay, And one of the valid reason for this page is not working is because that we didn't create any routes here, right? We're checking a lot of things, but remember in the page we have our user portion, and also we need to create our admin portion for Sanity to give us a page. So now we will create that page for that, and that will be our admin. And now inside that admin, we're gonna create a page.tsx. So it will be page.tsx, RFCE, and that one going to be our like this Sanity page. Okay, so inside that Sanity page, we gotta do all other things which actually going to make things work. So now in the studio, okay, in the admin, I'm gonna create one folder. Actually, it's gonna be the folder. Inside that folder, we need to declare that page, right? Because the folder is the route in Next.js, so we need to keep that one inside that folder. So now we have our studio route, and also I'm gonna take one more file here, which I'm gonna give the name as studio.tsx. Okay, so now here, because remember the Sanity is actually not supporting in the server-side component, so we need to create a client-side component to make it in a feature way. Either we can make that page.tsx as a client component, which is not a good practice. So I'm gonna take another file, which one I'm gonna make that as a client-side component. So let's create that RFCE. So that's my studio. Now first thing first, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make it as a use client. Okay, use client. So now here I'm gonna create all other configuration. So first let's go take that Sanity next Sanity. So not the next Sanity, it will be the next studio from that next Sanity studio. Okay, you need to install one more dependencies, which is the next Sanity. So that one you can see I already having, I think, in the packages. So it's going to be that next Sanity. So that one I need to install here. Now I have the next Sanity. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna remove all that. So I'm gonna put that next studio, and here I'm gonna pass a variable which going to be the configuration for the config, and then I'm gonna get that Sanity config from the config file I am having here, which is underlying all the configuration with the base path and all other variables. So now my studio is going to be all right. Let's hit the save. And now in the page.tsx, I need to connect that one. Now I don't need to make that as a client-side component, right? So I'm gonna remove that, and now what I'm gonna do, simply I'm gonna get my studio here from the studio. So right now, as you see, my studio should be accessible from here. If I click, it will take back me to my studio. Okay, just wait for a while. As you see, it's compiling, so it will just take a bit of time at the first, but it will be okay at this later on. Also, what I can do is, see, by default is giving me one layout, so it's Next already created that layout for me. If it's not created, you can create that layout by yourself. Okay, the configuration is done. Let's see, we are having one error. I think I click somewhere and the error is gone. So okay, let's wait a bit, it will give the error again. Okay, the error is showing. I need to before we continue, we need to pass that course origin. So let's continue. Now it will take back me to my dashboard, and from here I need to add that course origin. So okay, let's continue and add the course origin, and after hitting back, it will take back to my project. As you see, this is my project. So this project is embedded here in my main project. So now what I need to do, I need to create some setup. So first thing first, I need to create one of the schemas. Okay, so this is the layout. I move back my Sanity schemas inside my Sanity folder. So now here I need to create the schema. So first I will create one schema, which is the banner, for the banner images. So banner.ts. So in the banner, we're gonna create that schema portion, And to writing that schema, you can go back to the Sanity and you can just read that, the documentation, and you will feel better to understand that one. But for me, again, I'm gonna go with that, the simple setup by which I can make you understand how you can create it simply. So right now, I will take a function which gonna be export default, and that it gonna be a defined type which I need to import from Sanity, and it will be a function. Then I'm gonna pass the object parameter. The type it gonna be document, and also the name which going to be the banner, by which name I'm gonna fetch that, and the title it's gonna be the it will be banner. And now I need to define all the fields. The fields, it will going to be array of fields. So now let's define field. I think it will be define field, which I also need to import from Sanity. And here I need to pass the object. The first field it gonna be the title. Remember, it's going to be the small letter. And the title, I need to define the what kind of title it will be, the title, or you can just keep that as a banner title if you want to have any title for banner. And the type which are going to be string, the banner type. And now I need to have the images here. So again, define another field which I need to pass an object. The name is going to be the image, and then I need to pass the title title which is going to be capital image. And then the type, I need to define the type, and the type going to be the image type, and also the description it will be banner image, just a little short description. And I want to put a validation, because for the banner, as everything is going to be defined of that banner portion of the images, so images need to be required. So the rule dot require, so images require for mandatory for that. And after passing that validation, I will pass that options. Also, I will make my image hotspot. I think it will be okay. Let's see, hotspot maybe hotspot gonna be true. And also I will put that preview mode, so you can have a preview, and that preview going to be selective. So the image URL which is going to be asset.url, and the title I will just put the title inside the caption. And now once I'm saving that, I want to have a preview mode to see the images, so I will set up that preview. Now it's gonna be in a selective mode. I want to see the title, which is going to be the title of the defined title, and the media also going to be the image. Okay, so schema is done. Now I need to import that schema in my index.ts. So now let's import that banner. Banner is done. So now if I go back here, as you see, it's reloading and prefetching. Now I'm gonna have my banner. As you see, banner is working fine. So now you can have a bit of I think it's small or good. It looks different because I need to create a setup on it to make it looks perfect. So now in the banner, if I just to have a look a bit, you see now I have the field and everything. Okay, it's untitled. So now I can keep that first banner, second banner, something like that, which is going to be my first banner. Now I can inject my image. So let's upload some image for our first banner. So I can click on the upload. Remember, there is a mark so which is showing that you need to require, so you cannot publish until you set that. So let's upload that one. I will go inside the project, go inside the image where I'm having my banner. So I will import that first banner or any of the banner, and then you see my file is choosing, and now I can actually upload from here. Now you see my publish button is now is visible, so I can publish it. Okay, let's hit that one. So now it's publishing. You see the document is published. Now I can actually get that banner. I can fetch that banner, then I can showcase actually. So before fetching the banner and creating other participation things, I'm gonna just work a bit on those things. That is, I need to create another portion, right? If we go back to our studio here, you see it's gonna be a different setup, which is not like the one actually we are looking for. So we need to set that up. Okay, I need to, because as you see that one have entirely another portion of banner here which we are missing here, and also the color combination is a different setup, so we need to implement that. And to implement that things, I will go back to my component. I will take one more file which is going to be a studio header or a studio neighbor. You can keep, I'll just keep studio header.tsx rafce. Okay, now inside that studio header we will create that header portion, and to get that header work with us, so we need to go inside that, not in the banner. Okay, we need to go inside that sanity config.ts. so below the schema we can take another variable which is for the studio. Here we can get the configuration, we can go to take the components, and inside that components we're gonna take the neighbor which is going to be that studio header. Okay, so now if I save that one, you're gonna see a header is available. As you see, the studio header is in the top. So now we can actually modify that one. So how we can modify? First thing first, go inside back to the studio header. So in the div, let's keep the div, because I'm gonna take the props, whatever the props is available, because I want to keep all the default designs. As you see, the default banner is gone. So there is a default banner which actually is gone. I want to get the default setup, and to get that inside here, I'm gonna say whatever the props is coming. So props dot I think that it will be render default, render default, and I'm gonna pass the props. So whatever is in the default, it should appear. You see the default is appearing. So after default, I'm gonna pass all other things I want to implement. So now I'm gonna take a div, and then I'm gonna pass a link, and inside that link I'm gonna get one logo. So let's import the logo. So it will be import logo from, it will be from the assets, and that logo is the I think the light logo will be perfect because it's the black screen. So now I'm gonna get that image tag from the next image, and that image tag gonna to take a source which going to be the logo, and the alt tag going to be the logo, and also the class name. I'm gonna pass the text, not the text. Okay, what's happening? I'm gonna pass the text, class name of that width of 24, just the previous value, just to show you that if a logo is available or not. Okay, what's happening? Okay, did we missing that? Let's go back to there. Okay, let's also okay, I believe it will be just I want to just keep a simple image, not the logo, or because we're gonna pass a other variable to go on that way. So let's go back to the studio again. Let's see if we can see the logo available or not. Okay, we are heading back there. Okay, so now that logo should appear somewhere, but we can see that because in the top layer we will put some class name. So let's put some class name which gonna be padding of 5, and then the VG I'm gonna make a black. Okay, so now I think the logo can be available to see. And one thing is more annoying is that our Tailwind CSS is not working here, right? And it's a very simple way to fix that. Remember, we already take admin and there is a layout, right? But we didn't fix that layout to let our Tailwind work on that. You need to keep that in mind. We have that layout, but we didn't inject any of the CSS portion here. Remember, in our user layout, we already imported the Tailwind CSS by using that global CSS. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna copy that, and in the layout I'm gonna inject that layout also to import from Tailwind CSS. And once I did, so now if I just go back here, and I believe we need to make it okay, without reload also is working. So now as you see, we are having our logo here. Okay, so now you can see the logo and everything looks clean. So now let's go back to here, and also I'm gonna make a text gray of 100 to give some defined color. So now inside the below that top of the logo, I will pass a link, and inside that link I'm gonna make that which going to be go to website, and inside that link I'm gonna put also one href which going to take back to the home. And also after that I'm gonna take another div, or not the div, I'm gonna just get a p tag which going to say that admin studio for Oribi online shopping. Okay, so now we're gonna have three things together. As you see, it's stacked together. And also to make it looks better, what I'm gonna do, so the gray 100, I'm gonna make a flex item center justify between. So now it gonna looks perfect. As you see, that looks good. So I need one more icon here to make it looks a little bit clean and better. So I will take that icon, and in here, before that go to website, I'm gonna pass that icon, and that icon puts some class name which going to be text to Excel. Okay, so now we are going to have that. Okay, looks good. So now in that href, I'm gonna put some class name over there, which going to be a flex item center, the gap going to be a 3, and the font going to be a semi bold, and hover in text going to be blue of 600, and duration going to be 200. So now if also before passing that, I will just do something here. I'll just make it small text. Okay, so right now if I just want to go back to my website, as you see, go to website, I'm in the website. If I want to go back to studio, I'm here in my studio. Okay, it will just take a bit of time because it's a two separate project embedded in one, so sometimes you need to be a little bit like just to be wait for it. So now, as I show you how actually we're gonna have that banner portion, so we're gonna have the first banner. In that way we can actually deploy as many banner as you want. So like if you can duplicate that banner and you can create one more banner, or you can create the new banner. So like if I just make that okay, I will just do it that delete that one. Okay, you can delete. They just change some more design from here, so that behavior and that behavior you're gonna have a little bit discrepancy because the design is changed from the Sanity. So right now okay, that's the first banner. I am deleting, still not deleting. Let's see again. Okay, it's deleted. So how you can just import the banner, just you need to open a new banner. If you just put that like second banner, and then you can upload a new photo for that particular banner. Like I want to keep that banner photo, and it will start uploading, and then just hit the publish. So now the banner is available. So now as you see, we're gonna create two more things. One is category, one is product. These two particular schema we need to implement. So first thing first, let's go and create the product. So let's go Sanity and schemas. We're gonna get that product.ts, and remember the similar way, export, or I'm gonna just get my all of the product variable, then I'm going to explain it to you. So now here I'm defining that export default define type, and in the default define type I'm going to having a name of the product, title product, type document, and the product going to have a title, and in the description I'm making keep the title relative to product. Then also that product going to be have a particular flag. Remember, also you're going on that single product page, it's gonna fetch that product according to the flag. Don't worry, I'm gonna show you how those things actually working. Just focus through to go all the things available for that particular criteria. And the defaults, of course, the Slack should be required. Then we're gonna have a description can be required or cannot be, it depends on the consumer. Then we're gonna have an image, and then also we're gonna have a category for the product. Also we're gonna have the price and the raw price. Remember, there will be two price, one is the particular price, another is the without the discount price. Then we have the rating numbers. Also we have is new, which going to be boolean value, it will describe if our product is new or not. Then the body content, which going to be the blog content. Also we have the naming position. Remember, to make it a new arrival or some other things, we're gonna have that naming convention. Then we are having the brand and the quantity, and for the preview we are showing the title, image and position. So this pretty much everything for the product. So I will just save it and I will go back to my index folder, and here I'm gonna get that product. And once I save the product, I'm gonna of course get one more error. Okay, it will just take a bit of time. Now you see the category is undefined because I don't have the category and the blog content parameter. So these two parameters I need to get right now. So one is the blog content, one is the category, which I interlinked here in my product. So I define here that it will be a blog content, and also I define that it will be reference will be the category, but I don't have that schema, so I need to create that. So let's open a new file, and here I'm gonna get that as a category.ts, and inside that categories it's gonna come up with a sum of that two variable. I'm just trying to keep it simple. One is the title, one is the description, these two things. And after the category I need to create one more schema, which going to be a blog content.ts, and inside that blog content it's gonna be the content of predefined content of that, like the details content. So this content is going to be a name of that blog content, title going to be the blog content, it will be defined as an array, and in the array I'm gonna have that normal text h1 h2 ht. It's gonna be a rich text point. And then the list parameter, we're gonna have a bullet, value the bullet, and other is strong, or just the normal things passing in that way. So this two is now okay. Don't worry about that. These all are all going to be available in the GitHub repo, so you can have it and you can break it and do it whatever you want. So now let's go back to the index. I'm gonna get my category. I'm gonna get my blog content. Okay. Hit the save. Let's just shrink a bit, and now come over here and you're gonna see everything is working just perfect. So how you can import a product? So let's go back here, and in the product you just click on the plus sign. Now you will be eligible to create a product. I'm gonna show you a default setup because later on I'm gonna just switch through my previous product project, because there is a very limited time to create all the products till now. So now I'm gonna get a simple product like the text. Oops, it will be test product. That's the title you need to give for the product. And then the slug, it will generate automatically. If you click, you see the test product slug is generated. And now here you can give the description for that. You can upload a product image. So let's go back to the images. Let's keep that watch. And now I can add the category, remember, but I don't have a category. So what I'm gonna do, I can actually create a new category to opening by a new tab, or I can go with the category by itself. So it will, the category, I'm gonna give a title. The title, it's gonna be like fashion, okay, and the description is just a okay, that's it. Let's publish that one. So after publishing that, I can now interlink. As you see, the fashion category is available here. Now the price, of course, mandatory, give to 50. Raw price, either it can be there, not be there. So previous price is 300. The ratings, remember, the ratings cannot go beyond 5. So I will give 4. And of course, you can give the boolean value. I'm keeping as a new arrival. So for the body text, I will go my previous one of the product, and from here I'm gonna just get some demo text. You see the about that list item. So now you can prefetch whatever the way you want to prefer. I want to keep it as simple. I just want to show you how you can implement. Later on you can do it as the way you want. See, that's the text. We want to keep it in the body, and for that the position I will keep it in the new arrivals. Okay, for the brand I just keep it unknown, and the quantity I'll keep it as 1. That one quantity, it will be the default quantity, the default sales unit should be there. So this will, I'll keep it at default. So whenever we are adding the product in the cart, it will be so much helpful. So now hit the publish, and you're gonna see your product is implemented. So in that similar fashion, in that similar way, you can upload all the products, all the available products you need to create on your own. So now that's products, and that's the banner. We will implement that one here in the project. So what I'm gonna do, instead of implementing all from the beginning, I'm gonna switch through my existing project, which I will just open my project ID. I will change my project ID, so it will just get my previous project, and then I will get my all the values. So now in the banner, as you see, if I click on the banner, okay, it's updated. Now I have my previous value. Okay, everything is good to go. I have the product. So now here I have different kind of product which having the same setup. Remember, trust me, it's the same setup, the same value. Just getting a different thing is that checking in that position where I want to keep, and the brand, other things. So okay, it's good. And in the category, I have several categories here. So now we will access this project to get all the values from here. Let's go back to website, and now we will start working. Okay, so let's close all. I'm gonna open my banner. So now in the banner, it will be a simple slider accessing all the things from there. So to implement that, I will use that React Slick slider. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get that one, which going to be yarn at. Don't forget to go and read the documentation to have a very good and better understanding on it. And also in the layout, I need to import one more file, which going to be that slick carousel. Okay, so let's go my okay, it should be in the user layout. Okay, I need to import that, and also I need to add that one. Okay, slick carousel. Okay, let's hit the save, and now after that, let's go back to my banner. Here I need to access the data, and then I can also start working. So before accessing the data, I need to make one more things which should be make it in a good way. I will create one more folder in my source folder. It's gonna be the lib, and inside that lib folder, I will take one more file, which is going to be sanity client.ts. Okay, what's the error I'm getting? Let's hit refresh. Okay, what is that? Failed to read source code from okay, let's check again. Okay, I think it's a simple error because we are importing that package before we are accessing, like installing that one. So now in the Sanity client, we need to make so many things. First thing first, I need to just install Next Sanity, and also I need to install one more thing, which is the Sanity image URL. So let's yarn add Sanity image URL and the Next Sanity. So now these two things I require here, and why I require. So first thing first, I need to get the API, like the API version, the token, because those things I need to access here. So this Sanity API token, to get the token, you just simply need to go back to the sanity.io, and inside here you need to go back to your projects. So I'll just go back to the manage projects. Now here, because I'm using that one particularly, but I will show you how you can generate the token. You can just go back to the API, and here you can put add API token, and as a developer token you can put that and hit save. Now you will ask something, just put DD or some other name. Now it will generate the token, so you need to copy that. So what I am gonna do for right now is that to get my previous token. Okay, and my previous token is that, okay, let me just grab that. Okay, so this is my previous token, so I need to access that 4 things here. Okay, so right now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just declare those variable. My project ID would be that public next public sanity project ID, dataset, API version, and the token. So now I'm gonna pass a variable export const, which going to be the client, and that client I'm gonna declare with that create client from next sanity. And here I'm gonna pass an object. Here I'm gonna pass that project ID, okay, and also that dataset, API version, and also the token. And for right now, I'll just make that usadian false. I don't want to keep any caching and other things. So now here in the sanity, we're gonna having the image, but you cannot directly inject the image. And to get the image and to use it, we also need a builder function here. And that one is that const builder, and that builder is gonna be image URL builder. So we need to import that from that image URL. So let's go and import. It's going to be import image URL builder, and that's going to be a from I believe, oops, it will be sanity, and then okay, it's not yet let's see, I think it's imported already, so why it's not happening? Okay, let me, I'm not getting any suggestion. Okay, just let me grab it. Okay, image URL builder. Okay, so that's going to be here, image URL builder, and inside that builder we're gonna pass that client, which going to be the sanity client. And now here we're gonna get one that which is the export const, not the const, we need to make that URL function, so it will be, oh sorry, export the const, and then URL for, you can give any name you prefer. And here I'm gonna keep that source, and that source going to be the any source, and then I'm gonna return something, and that's return builder dot image, and that image going to coming from the source. So now I can access that image, I can access that different things from that sanity. So now let's go head back to the banner, because now we can actually go and create so many things to get and access the data. And remember, we are having that banner, but we are calling that banner here in our front page, right? So I'm just gonna wrap it with the main, and also that main I'm gonna give a class name. I'm gonna make all the text of a small text in the main, and overflow going to be hidden, and min height going to be screen. Okay, so now we need to, because this one is the server component, right? But here in the banner, this is, we're gonna make it as a client component, because we're gonna use that React Slick. So we're gonna create a server side call. That's what we're gonna do it here. So first let's go here, and now we're gonna make a query. So the banner query equal to, it's gonna be a grok query, which we're gonna import from the next sanity. Feel free to go and read the documentation of sanity, why and how to use the grok. And now we're gonna write a query. Before writing the query, I'm gonna inject that query here so that you can understand how actually those things working. So now what I'm gonna do, let's go back to the Sanity Studio, and over here we're gonna interject and interlinked all the preparation. We're gonna go in the version tab, where actually we can prefer to how we can fetch the data. You see there is my previous vision thing is happening from my previous project. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna write a new grok query. So this grok query, it's gonna be just inject with that it will be underscore type, and underscore type equal to, remember we gave the name for the banner is the banner, and now here from the type, from the banner type, we're gonna get everything. So whatever is in the banner I want to fetch. So now as you see, we are having a 0 item. So okay, not everything. So let's see what we're gonna have. Banner have the image and also banner have the ID. So let's see if it can fetch. Okay, still it cannot fetch anything. Okay, I think maybe my query have something wrong. Okay, yeah, it's having wrong. I write the query in a wrong way, because remember this one, it gonna be start after finishing that. Okay, so that's the parameter I need to pass. Okay, so now if we fetch, you see we can fetch even this without 2. If we just put $3, it's gonna fetch everything right now. So now we can get all the data from the banner, right? In that way we're going to write our query. So now in the banner, I need only the image and the ID. So how we can write that one here? Put a backtick, then the second bracket, and now I'm gonna pass the condition, which going to be my type, and type equal to it gonna be banner. And whenever we are having that banner, what I'm gonna say from the banner, give the image, because I need only those portions, so no need to get all. Oops, it will be image, and also give that ID. And also I want a something from there. What is that? Is I want that one should be orderable. So order, and it gonna be underscore created at ASC ascending. Okay, so now I written the banner query. I need to access that data, right? And to access that, I'm just gonna call that function. Okay, so now const banners equal to await, because I need to wait for the result. It will go to the Sanity, then gonna access that one. So let's put it as an assign function. So await. Remember, we have a one client, smaller function. So from the client, which is the Sanity, it's gonna be fetch. What is the going to fetch? Going to be fetch the banner query. So now if I put a log over here and put writing on that banners, I will be able to see the banners in my console. You see, it's coming up with the ID and with the image. So now I'm having the banner. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pass that banner on that banner component. So it's gonna be banners, which going to be banners. Now let's head back to the banner. Now I can get that banner here and it gonna inject here to use. So now it's gonna be banners, and I'll just, for right now, I'll just keep it as any to just feel free to make it out of any of the problem. Okay, so right now I'm out of any of the issue. So let's head back here. I need to import one more thing, which is for that I believe that slider we need to import. So because the slider, it should be as a client side project, so I will make it as a use client, and then I'm gonna import the slider. And in the slick slider, I'm gonna interject all the parameter. So let's go here. I'm gonna keep that, and I'm gonna make that slider. Okay, and here I need to inject the setting. So now I will go with a very similar fashion to describe the setting, because I already have several projects where I use that React Slick. It's a very much simple things I love to use, because the complication is very simple, so I feel better to use that one. So I'm gonna explain that one for sure, but first let me get that. Okay, and then one more thing is there, the type, which I need to get the type file. So I will just get that types of React Slick. Just give me a sec. So yarn at React Slick. So now the type it gonna be implemented. So what I'm actually doing, I'm getting the accessing the settings file from there, and in the setting file I'm just putting that how I want to interject. Remember, I told you before, if you have any doubt of what I'm using, you better go with a particular properties, and then you can be having a very good understanding how to use that. Okay, so you can go with that React Slick pages, and you can read all the details to how you to use that one. Okay, that's the settings. I'm accessing all the things from arrows and others, and then I'm appending the dots in the image where I want to dots or not, because remember in our image, you see that's the dots I'm appending here. And then I'm getting that you, again, I'm saying you can have those code and then you can toggle through, because I need a lot of time, so you can just feel free. And also the responsiveness, I just work a bit with the responsiveness. You can work in your own way and you can make it responsive, because my prime goals is not for the slider, so I'm just skipping it in a bit. And now I need to pass that settings here, so it will work pretty much fine. So now here, as I am having that, remember it will not be a self-closing div, so I just need to pass another slider. Now here I need to interject all over the things. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna access my banners, and whenever the banners is available, I want to map through the banners, and I will take all the things as an item. For right now, again, I'm gonna keep an any, don't worry, I'm gonna fix it right now. So here I can actually console log by making it a return, but I will just pass the default things, and in the link, which going to be href, whenever someone click on that, it will just take back to the shop. And then I'm gonna pass one image tag from the next image, and remember the source, and that source, it will not be interject the image primarily. Remember we have one utilities function which is url4. We need to like get from it from that lib sanity client, and then I'm gonna pass that item.image, the image we are getting, then we're gonna give that url. Okay, so now we can actually get that image value. So it will be banner image, and also the width going to be, I'm gonna give a larger width to make it more clear, and the height going to be 2000. Okay, let's save it and let's see what actually we are getting. Of course there will be so many things which is not should be in a good way. Okay, nothing is happening. Okay, okay, just getting, I think my net is slower. Now you see we cannot directly inject that image in our application, because remember this image is coming up from Sanity, and now we need to modify that Sanity, because what Next.js is doing is prefetching the image once it's loading. So it's getting the image in a server-side rendering, so we need to define from where we are getting our images. So what I'm gonna do, we need to work a bit in with the next.config.ts, the JS. In here, I will take a variable called images, and inside that images, I will pass that remote patterns. And in the remote patterns, I will take it as an array, because there can be multiple remote patterns. So the protocol is gonna be HTTPS, and for the host name, which is the CDN, okay, you can copy from here. Okay, it will be that cdn.sanity.io. so that's the host name is here, and the path name I'm gonna just put in the functional path name, so it will be in the default way. Okay, so let's just keep a reload, but the best practice is once you are changing any value in that next.config.ts, close the server, then open the server. I think for this small project it will not make any kind of error, so let's give it a time to load. Okay, looks fine, everything compiled perfectly. Okay, that looks good, but there is some problem issue is there. We're gonna fix it right now. Okay, but our image is rendering, right? So now let's head back to the banner. We're gonna fix those issues. So in the banner, what I'm gonna do, on the link, I'm gonna just put some class name. I'm gonna just make it a relative div. And now in the image, let's type some class name. The width going to be full, and the max height going to be, okay, I'm gonna put it manual height. Height it gonna be, I'm gonna put it is a 750 pixel, the max height, and the object should be cover to fit everything. Okay, let's see. Okay, as you see, it's working fine, so now it's good. It's because it's happening because I'm declaring that things over here. So you need to fix that issue. Okay, so go with all the class name and feel free to implement that one. So now I want to create another effect here. The effect, it would be a little bit of blur effect. So after that image, I will take a self-posing div, and on particular div, I'm gonna go and give some class name, and that class name width going to be full and height going to be 40, and bj gradient t, okay, from gray 100 to transparent, and it's gonna be absolute, bottom going to be 0, z opacity going to be 220. So now you see there is an effect, the shadowy effect, so it looks okay, looks cool. Now my header is making weird, so I will need to fix that navbar. And to fix the navbar, let's go inside that navbar. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna make some more class name for that, because I need to make it sticky. So sticky top 0 z 50. Okay, so now if I just roll back through it, you see it's sticking together. So now you see we are getting that banner from the Sanity. Okay, so now you can change the banner, you can make toggle through the banner, you can add more banner. Like if I want to add more banner, so now there is no timing limit we interject. If we add more banner, it may not come. So now what I need to do to implement that one, in the page I will write a revalidation function. So now it's gonna be export const revalidate of 10. So every 10 milliseconds it's gonna revalidate. Okay, so let's head back to the studio. Okay, it's compiling the studio. So now what we're gonna do in the banner, we're gonna add one more banner to see if it's working or not. So let's add one more. Okay, fifth image, and we're gonna upload one image. So let's go in the banner image, we're gonna upload, okay, we're gonna upload that one. Let's see if it's uploading or not. Let's hit the publish. Okay, so now okay, there is some image because it's not a string, cannot diff match path image updated because it's not a string. Okay, I think the tool is crashed. Let's just okay, let's debug that one. Okay, what's actually saying the image updated is not a string. Okay, let's just I think let's go back to the website and let's go back to the studio again. I believe it's because of that okay, because we didn't change a bit of that. Remember, we're gonna create one binary schemas. I think maybe we missed something in the binary schemas. So what actually we missed? Okay, so the document banner, we have the title, banner title, string, which is actually a string, then the image, type of image. Okay, and then we have the asset.url preview section. Okay, let's try one more time if we can actually make the banner to, okay, fifth image is already here. I think there is it's an uploading issue with that Sanity, maybe some loading issue or something, because as you see it's still loading. I think it's because of the network error. Okay, now it's uploaded. I think it's because of the network issue maybe, so I will just hit publish. Okay, so it's already published. Now let's go back to the website. Let's see if it's broken or not, because remember we are actually just stacking on that caching portion. Okay, it's gone. So now as you see we have the fifth images, and let's go one by one. Just give it a time because just now it's getting one stuck. So now okay, we have our images. Okay, very good. Fantastic. So now we are having our image portion. So as my network is getting a little bit error, so for today I think this part we are going to become on that banner portion. For tomorrow's part, we're gonna render the products. As you see, we can actually prefetching the product and also that banner portion. So in our tomorrow's build, we're gonna keep that product and other properties. So in that part, I believe you can implement that one with that configuring the sanity and configuring the other things. I hope you can do it. But to make you feel a little bit safer, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just close out my terminal, and then I'm gonna go in my GitHub, because I want you to have that code in your on site so you can have those things. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create a new repository, and in that repository it's going to be I think or it be YT. Okay, so now this repository, it will be a public repository. So now here what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna add everything from my project to my repo. So now I'm gonna make that git init, and then I'm gonna make that git add dot and git commit, which gonna be initial commit. So now I'm gonna connect my repo here, okay, and git push master. So now what actually you can do, I'm gonna give the link in the description below, so you can have that repository. You can either download that one, or you can just copy that or interlink that, and then having just put yarn, and then it will install all the dependencies. If you're using npm, you can put that npm I, and then it will install everything there. So I believe you can come over here and you can fulfill all the dependencies, because in our tomorrow's build, we're gonna fetch the products and then we're gonna implement all other parameters. So I hope you can do it. So we'll see you in the next build.